All right, here is an example of how to construct a confidence interval for the population proportion. When you're working with population proportion to find the confidence interval, what you're going to do is you're going to follow this set of steps. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you follow those steps. So we have a survey of 1,250 US adults, and 450 of them said that their favorite sport is baseball, and they ask you to construct a 90% confidence interval for the proportion of US adults who say baseball is their favorite sport. Okay, so I'm going to follow the steps to construct this confidence interval, 90% confidence interval. Step number one, I want to identify N, which is the sample size or how many people participated in the survey. In this case is 1,250. Also in step one, they asked me to find X, and X is out of those 1,250, how many of them like baseball in this case, in this scenario. So it's 450 of them. Okay, and I did step number one. All right. Step number two, I'm going to find the point estimate, p hat. What is p hat? That's the percent from the sample, from this survey. Okay, I want to find out what percent of these 1,250 adults like baseball. How do we find p hat? I use this formula. P hat is X over N, and that's what I'm going to show you now. Okay, how do I get the 0.36? I divided 450 divided by 1250, and I got this decimal. Also, in step number two, they ask us to find Q hat. How do we find Q hat? Is 1 minus P hat. What is Q hat in real life? It's the people who don't like something. So in this case, what percent of the people don't like baseball? So how do I find that? I will do 1 minus 0.36, okay, because that's my p hat. And when you subtract that, you're going to get 0.64. So 0.36 of the people, or 36% of the people in this survey like baseball, and 0.64, 64% of the people, of these people, 1,250, don't like baseball. And I did step number two. Step number three, I'm going to find the critical value, ZC. Okay, and the way we're going to find ZC is using the normal distribution calculator, which we did that before. Okay, let me get my calculator here. This calculator, this is the calculator we're going to use. Okay, and when you open this calculator, you always have this. So to find the critical value with a 90% confidence, what you have to do is first click the drop down menu, choose the last option. Okay, and in the drop down menu, choose the last option, and then in the red box, you're going to put the confidence level, which in this case is 0.90. Okay, and when whatever answer you get in the blue box, that's going to be your critical value. Okay, I'm going to round here to 3 decimal places, so it's going to be 1.645, and that's what you're going to be seeing very soon when I replace ZC with 1.645. See, that's what I did there. The next step is that I need to find my margin of error. And how do I find my margin of error? Okay, I went like a little bit ahead, but that's fine. ZZ 1.645, that's the critical value. My margin of error is how much off could be my real estimate of the population proportion, more or less. We call that margin of error. We plug in this formula. And ZZ, which is what I show you with a calculator, I plug in 1.645. P hat, I plug in 0.36. Q hat, I plug in 0.64, and then how many people participated in the survey, I plug in 1250. When I do this in my calculator, I get this decimal, and I did step number 4, the margin of error. Step number 5, I'm going to find the interval. Okay, and to find the interval, I have to find the beginning and the end of my interval. And the way you find the interval is using this formula, which I'm going to show you here on the screen now, is using that formula. The left hand, how do I find it? P hat minus E, so P hat 0.36 minus E 0.022. Okay, and then whatever I get there, that's going to be my left end. And then the right end, I'm going to use the same two numbers, but I'm going to be adding them. and this is what I get on the right end. Now, usually in the problems of the homework, they're going to ask you to write this as a percent. So just multiply each of these decimals by 100, and I'm going to get 33.8% and 38.2%. And now I'm going to make my interpretation. And what is interpretation? With 90% confidence, we can say that the proportion, percentage of all U.S. adults, see the population, who say baseball is their favorite sport to watch is between 33.8% and 38.2%. Okay, I hope this helps.